always identified with Plato's allegory of the cave. From the first moment I read it, I felt like he was speaking directly to me. Plato was a philosopher from ancient Greece, but his words were so powerful, they are still relatable in modern-day Virginia. Take allegory of the cave, for instance. It represents this transition of a people moving from darkness and shadows into the light of reality. And in choosing to embrace reality, there is a period of adjustment, much like it takes your eyes time to adjust from darkness to light. I very much attribute this sentiment to meeting my first serious relationship, to meeting a man who was so bright, almost too bright for me to accept or comprehend after so long being shrouded in darkness. I was 20 years old, working at an organic grocer in Virginia Beach. And this was my first real job outside of the town I'd grown up in, a small town, Whaleyville, Virginia, with small town views. A town full of drug users, high school dropouts, and teenage pregnancies. And this is the perspective that I came with to Virginia Beach, to my first encounter with him, Keith Gray. He got hired on to work at the store that I was at, and that first time I saw him was like witnessing an angel plucked from the skies to stand among the ordinary and mundane. Standing there beneath the black awning of the store, he was beautiful, tall, rich, dark-skinned, and so very muscular. And he takes my hand in both of his. "How do you do, madam? I'm Keith." I knew right off the bat this guy was not real. And even if he was, there was no way he was meant for me. But I sure did like watching him, though. Watched as he offloaded them heavy boxes on shipment day for sure. But I also watched as he treated every person with kindness and respect. Watch as he gave unrequired assistance in carrying groceries to customers' cars. Watch as he purchased food and nutritional supplements for those in need. This guy was strange and so different. I couldn't make sense of him in my head. Then he asked me out on the first date. And despite my misgivings, and despite myself, I said yes. And got ready with all the excitement I did not admit that I felt. I wore my prettiest blouse, yellow with a crisscross waist, and my prettiest skirt. It was white and frilly, had a nice swish when I walked. And I met him at a sushi restaurant right around this corner from our store. He introduced me to my first delicious taste of raw fish and an evening the likes of which I had never known. We didn't talk about the latest booze fest or current town drama or even the best party we'd attended. Instead, we spoke of philosophy and religion, and he challenged every single one of my small town views. This guy is not real. The town I come from, the idea of romance and wooing was, offering you your drug of choice. Where strength was shown and how much damage you could do in a fight. Where boys are only nice until they get something from you. It was never what I was interested in, but it was all I'd known. It was how I expected my life to be. And Keith Gray did not fit into a single one of my preconceived notions. And so I left that dinner with no expectation for a future between me and this strange, beautiful man. But then we did go out on another date, and we had our first kiss. We were standing outside the restaurant that we had just been to, and I'm leaning against the pillar, the thick cement pillar behind me, smiling up at him. And he leans down to kiss me for the first time, and it is the softest, gentlest kiss. And he takes a step back. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be so forward. Oh, honey, I do not mind a bit. And he kisses me again, and it's everything a first kiss should be. Strong, passionate, entirely swoon-worthy. And after we're done, he's holding me in his arms, and he asks me, how do you feel? Safe. I feel safe. Oh, nope, can't have this. Thanks so much. I had a lovely evening. I will see you next time. We did continue dating for the next couple months, and I continued this pattern of push and pull. There was one time when he tried to help me out with something at work, and I sneered at him. I can handle this on my own. Thanks. For the time that I wasn't speaking to him for whatever reason, and allowed him to think, just for the smallest amount of time, that I wasn't at all interested in being with him. But wait, I didn't mean it. There was one night we were walking down the sidewalk after having a dinner somewhere, and we're guided by street lamps and store signs, walking hand in hand, and I'm musing on us and our relationship, and I say to him, you know, honey, if you and I weren't dating, we probably wouldn't be friends. We wouldn't even hang out. You're just not my kind of people. Stops there and looks at me. Can't believe you would ever say that to me. Let's get you home. And without another word between us, we turn and continue walking, with only the sounds of traffic and the cicadas around us, and my hand now vacant. My 20-year-old communication skills sucked. How could I have ever begun to explain to him that he was just so bright and I was full of darkness? Somehow, he did end up forgetting my blunderous words and asked me to marry him a few months later. It's now been 10 years. He is my greatest friend, the most wonderful husband. Life is good. But it did take me much longer than I cared to admit to step out of my shadows and embrace the light. Thank you.